Hey guys, how's it going? It's Fizzy here and I'm back with another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video. And today, as you can see, we are going to be talking about overpowered guns in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So in the background you can see some gameplay with one of these, specifically the Kuda with one of these overpowered guns. As you can see, I'm running the Kuda with the Elo sight, and that's another gameplay that I've got with this gun, but this time it's on Breach. It is hardcore confirmed again. This gameplay isn't anything too special, it's just something I managed to get, which is decent and which isn't on Combine, so that's, I guess that's a step up anyway, but you can enjoy the gameplay while I'm talking about the overpowered guns in this game. So basically, for the most part, Treyarch did manage to stabilize the guns in this game in quite a good way, to be honest. In previous CODs there was guns that you had that were definite favorites. Like for example in Black Ops 1, for me anyway, this is my opinion by the way, in Black Ops 1 you had the AK-47 or the AK-74U, which were both just amazing guns in my opinion and probably the best. There was the Commando, which was an assault rifle which you unlocked late on in the game, which was also pretty epic. And in Black Ops 2 you had something like, for me it was the MP7 was probably the best gun, along with the AN-94, which was just probably one of the most overpowered guns in the history of COD, in my opinion, because that gun literally is just like the KN-44, but about 6 times better, you know, that kind of a level of overpoweredness. So in this Black Ops 3 there isn't like a standout weapon that is just the gun to use, although there are some weapons that are just shit and there are some weapons that are pretty good to use. And one of these weapons is the Kuda, and it is probably one of the better SMGs out there, but it also all depends on your playstyle. So, you know, if you like to rush like me, then the Kuda is basically for you, because it's quick fire rate and also has stable recoil. Of course, it's not anything perfect like in assault rifles, because SMGs are designed for close combat, so the recoil is still going to give you a little bit of a kick. But if you, for the most part, if you run grip and quick draw, it's all good, and that's on most SMGs. But I think like the standout, for me, the standout kind of SMG is the Kuda. It just is kind of universal, especially I play on hardcore. You don't need to get as much shots into your enemy as you do on core, and basically the recoil, that fact basically kind of compensates for the recoil, because on hardcore, you know, 2 or 3 shots and enemy's dead with the Kuda. Maybe 4 or 5, it depends how you're aiming, but you know, on core that would be about 10 or 12 shots even, you know, and it could be even more depending how good or how bad your aim is. So basically for me the Kuda is just an all-around beast weapon on hardcore. And once again, I've said this before countless times, but I'm going to say it again, that this is for the most part, you know, my opinions are based on hardcore. So, you know, for me it might be different than for people playing, let's say, core team deathmatch or something like that, but that's what I think, that the Kuda is just a very, very beastly weapon. Another example of a great SMG is the VMP, but I do think that it's a little bit worse, and it's only for like specific situations, because if you're, let's say, trying to kill someone cross map, it's not that easy, because, you know, I personally wouldn't run a sight on the VMP, like a red dot sight, anything like that, because I think it kind of takes away the best quality of the gun, which is, you know, to be able to aim up into the ADS really quickly and be able to just, you know, burst that really quick fire rate into your enemies, you know, just slide into a building, get 3 or 4 kills. That's basically what the VMP is the best at. And excuse me, another gun that is good at that is the Vesper as well, which is one of the more OP weapons in terms of, you know, the SMG class, and probably in the game. It's just, I think if there is a weapon that is supposed to be overpowered, I think that the Vesper is one of those guns, along with the Kuda. But then again, you know, I'm not too certain as to if these guns can be classified as overpowered, or are they just, you know, better than the others, but not to an extent where it's overpowered. You know, it all depends on opinion. For me, there is like not much guns that can be classified as overpowered, but if there is, then the Vesper and Kuda are definitely candidates for that title. But you know, I mean, in the SMG class, I pretty much like every gun, because the Weevil is probably my favorite gun in the game. Even though it's not as good for me as it used to be, but I still really do like that weapon, and it probably is my favorite gun in the game. You've got the Pharaoh, which is also a gun that I just absolutely adore, for the 4-round burst, which is something kind of new, I guess. I'm not sure if there's guns like that in the previous CODs with 4-round burst, but there is now anyway, and I think it's pretty cool, especially on hardcore. 1 burst kills a person. What other SMGs are there? I actually just totally blanked out. There's the Razorback, which actually, you know, it could be OP for some people. I mean, I do like using it, but I don't think it's OP because it's kind of more like between an assault rifle and an SMG. It's the same with the Weevil, and you know, I think there's like 1 or 2 more SMGs, but I just totally blanked out at the moment. I can't remember. But that's for the SMGs. You've got the assault rifles then, which I think there isn't much competition. I think the KN-44, you know, single-handedly just is the best assault rifle, and if there was again a gun from the assault rifles that could be overpowered, it would definitely be the KN-44 for me. Although the ICR is pretty nice and the Shiva is also a very nice weapon, but it's only for certain situations, and I feel like the overpowered guns are the ones that are kind of useful in every situation, you know. You're not gonna have a gun like that, of course, which you'd have to have a perfect gun, but you know, the weapons that are that aren't just, you know, good at one thing and bad at the other. It's kind of like a weapon that's balanced, that has a little bit of good advantages to it in every single aspect. So, you know, close range combat, cross map kind of long distance shooting and stuff like that. The KN-44 is really good for those 2 aspects. You know, even close range, if you are fast enough, if your reflexes are good enough, also if your connection is also good, then you know, you can definitely outsmart some people even running Vespers and stuff like that with the KN-44. But yeah, that's what we're talking for the assault rifles. Then the shotguns, I can't personally express an opinion on those because I don't personally use them. But if I was to pick a favorite, I'd definitely pick the Brecci or the Brecci, or however you want to pronounce that name, I don't know. Let's just call it the Brecci anyway. So the Brecci, I think, is possibly the best shotgun in the game. I wouldn't call it OP because I don't think that shotguns were ever OP. If maybe there was, it could have been this past 12 in Black Ops 1, but I really am not too informed as I don't run shotguns pretty much on any FPS, not even just on Call of Duty. But also, you know, Battlefield and other games like that, I just don't use shotguns because it's not my playstyle. I do like rushing, but I keep it still to a certain range. I don't just get really close up for me to be able to kill someone with a shotgun. So that's that. Then you've got the LMGs, which I think, you know, aren't that OP in this game. They are pretty nice, but for the most part, they're pretty slow. And if I was to pick a favorite, it would probably be the BRM. Even though it's, you know, it's the starting LMG. Just like the Kuda, which is the starting SMG, but I still think it's really good. There isn't really too much bad things about it. You can't expect an LMG to be something like an SMG where you can just pre-fire. Well, you can pre-fire people, but what I mean is you can't just use it as quickly as an SMG. If you kind of know what I'm trying to say, you're not going to be able to aim down the sights as quick enough. Even if you have quick draw, it just won't be the same thing. But that's not what LMGs are for, of course. But you know, you get the idea. And then I'm not really going to touch on snipers because I don't snipe, but if I was going to pick a sniper, it would most likely be the Locust, simply because the other snipers are basically useless. Maybe the Drakon is good, but don't get me started on how shit the PO6 is. I used that for 1 game on hardcore before, and I don't want to say what happened, but anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. You can see the score right now. I managed to come first. And yeah, so that's all cool. Let me know your opinions down in the comments section on overpowered guns. Do you have an overpowered gun? Do you have a gun that you think is overpowered? Actually, should I say that you think is just a standout favorite in Call of Duty Black Ops 3? If so, what it is. And also, if you have any other weapons from previous Call of Duties, whether it's Modern Warfare, Black Ops, World at War, whatever that you think are OP, make sure to comment that also. I'll definitely have a read over those comments, and make sure to also like if you enjoyed. That helps out a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.